Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to the 6th episode of this Starcraft 2 Newbie Guide. So, in the previous episode, we finished the training for the game. Yeah, in episode 5 we did Stage 3 of training. We finished that up. It was fairly tough, especially for newer players. If you haven't beaten that yet, I do strongly recommend replaying it and replaying it and replaying it and replaying it until eventually you do beat it. And maybe after that, you might want to replay it a few more times to see if you can consistently beat it. It's a good way to make sure you've got the hang of the game. At that point, or even if you don't reach that point and you want to just move on, you just beaten it once, for example, and you just want to move on, it's time to move on to the very next step of the multiplayer learning curve that Blizzard has put in here. The path that they put in to help players get acclimated with the multiplayer game, and that is versus AI. So we're no longer in training. We are now playing on faster difficulty, we have all of our units available to us, and there are no more objectives or alerts in the middle of the screen to tell us what to do or what's going on in the game. So you're basically off of the training wheels now, and you're playing Starcraft. Sure, it's against an AI opponent, but you're playing Starcraft at this point. You were playing Starcraft before, obviously. It was just training. But now you're kind of striking out on your own. Again, versus an AI opponent, but still striking out on your own. Alright, so there are 3 modes for versus AI. You've got 1 versus the AI, 2 versus the AI, and 3 versus the AI. So if you hit play on either 2 or 3, it will matchmake for you and try and find you a teammate to go up against AI opponents. I'm not sure if it's against one opponent or if it's against like 2v2 or 3v3. I don't know. These two I am not actually that familiar with. For the most part, I'm only really concerned with 1 versus AI. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. And if I find out later what 2 and 3 exactly are, then I'll mention it in a later video. Of course, that's the kind of thing that's very easy to just simply look up. In any case, selecting our race, again, we're sticking with Zerg because that's what we've been playing. And I do recommend you stick with whatever race you've practiced with, whatever race you've gone through training with, to go into the versus AI section. So in 1 versus AI, we've got 3 matches remaining. We have to complete a series of matches for the AI to determine your skill level. Let's see the question mark here. Difficulty is adjusted based on your performance. Go to the custom game section to play against specific difficulties or build orders. Yeah, this. So if you were to go to custom and set up a game versus AI, you can set your own difficulty. You can set the AI to play a specific way, like with certain build orders or timing attacks or what have you. You can make it, well, really custom as far as the game is concerned. But this versus AI section functions a lot like actual unranked and ranked play. You'll notice if we go to unranked, or ranked actually. Yeah, if we go to ranked, this has something similar. League placement, 5 matches remaining. That's very similar to what's going on in versus AI. We got 3 matches remaining to sort of place our skill level, and that way the AI knows how much of a challenge to pose or what kind of difficulty to throw at us to make it an even fight, so that the game is nice, balanced, and fun to play. So in any case, let's go ahead and get these 3 matches played so that we can get placed against AI and see how difficult of an AI opponent the game wants to throw at us. Central Protocol. I think we played the previous episode on this map, or one of the concept episodes. Maybe not the previous one, maybe the one right before that. Alright, so here we go. We're in a Starcraft match playing against an AI opponent. I'm gonna send my Overlord out to scout.
We require more minerals.
Start training up some drones. We're at 14 of 14 supply at this point, and I'm gonna watch for 200 minerals so that I can begin building my spawning pool as soon as we have the resources available. We're pretty close now, so I'm gonna grab a drone, pull them off the mineral line, and build that spawning pool. And now I'm going to build up another drone with the next 50 minerals that we get. And then an Overlord comes next because, again, we are full up on supply. So I'm going to select these larvae here and hit Overlord. Grab the Overlord. And we're going to send this one off towards the middle of the map direction, because we just want to have Overlords out there to scout for us. As soon as this Overlord hatches, we will train up as many drones as we can with as many available larvae, which is going to be 3 in this case. We'll get 3 drones, And now it's time to build our extractor to begin harvesting some Vespene gas, because this is nearing completion. And as we know, the spawning pool enables us to upgrade metabolic boost for our Zerglings, which is a very useful upgrade. And we want to make sure we get harvesting gas so that we can actually upgrade that. The spawning pool has completed, so that enables us to build a queen, so we're going to do that for our hatchery. Very necessary. And we're four shy of being max supply, so we're going to go ahead and train an overlord right now early, and right-click somewhere on the map to get him scouting in that direction as soon as he hatches. Alright, so we've got some drones harvesting Vespene, and it's time now to wait for what exactly? You know what, I'm going to go ahead and expand early this time around. We're going to send a drone out towards... Actually, I thought this map had an easy expansion for us here. Doesn't look like it. Alright, we're going to expand here before we even make any military units, which is fine. Our queen is all set, and I'm not going to explain in depth again. I'm kind of pulling back on the hand-holding bit a little, because by this point you're probably familiar with a lot of the concepts, such as me setting that rally point right there. You can probably tell what I did just by seeing it happen now. Hopefully you're following along, and you're at the point where you can do that sort of thing. Alright, so let's train up some Zerglings now, and get the metabolic boost training. Our Zerglings are going to be ready fairly soon. Oh look, looks like we found our opponent. And they're going for roaches, so they're going for a very aggressive early attack with roaches. Knowing this, knowing that they may very well send their attack in soon, I'm going to put up some spine crawlers in our base to help protect from that. We need to replenish those drones that we just used. Alright, so we lost an overlord. That's no problem. We'll just train up another one as soon as we have the larva available. Now I'm sending my Zerglings out here because I want to see if they're expanding or if they actually are being really aggressive, or what exactly is going on there. Alright, so my Zerglings found what appears to be an attack force moving out, and I'm purposely move commanding this Zergling over to the enemy base here. Doesn't look like they have an expansion. I'm going to train up some Zerglings now, back at base, while I'm moving this Zergling around. Okay, so there's that. Whenever the roaches get here, they're going to hit the expansion first. So let's get some spine crawlers down at the expansion. This is the ramp where they would attack from. Alright, metabolic boost just finished, so our Zerglings are a lot faster now. Let's send out this pair of Zerglings. Ah, looks like there was a scout Zergling coming in. We're able to catch them, so we're doing pretty well there. With the gas that we have, I'm going to mutate into a lair. I've got a bit of an economic advantage at this point, I feel. Let's get more drones and move them off in this direction. Now, as we know, we need a queen for each hatchery, so we're going to birth one as soon as we have 150 minerals here. There we go, get one training. And it's time to train up another overlord because we're getting close to the supply cap. Gotta keep track of that thing. That's one of the things that kind of comes second nature to you eventually as you continue to play more and more. You get a feel for when your supply is getting close, and then of course you can just glance up into the top right and check on that. I'm going to train a second queen here and yet more drones because we seem to be short on minerals. Minerals seem to be our bottleneck right now, which is not usually the case. Usually Vespene gas is the bottleneck. But I am going to want some stronger units pretty soon, because all I've got right now are the spine crawlers and Zerglings, and we can go get a little bit more scouting information here. There we go, let's get this queen doing her thing. Put up some more static defense. Looks like they've opted to hold back, but still haven't expanded, so they're building up a fairly large attack force, but not a lot of economy. So if we hold off that first attack... Actually, we just got back into the back of their base here, and we can attack their drones. I think we were able to get a few drones there. Not totally sure, it was a little bit hectic. But we do have some more Zerglings here. Alright, so we've got a queen available, and I'm going to use her to spread creep. Actually, I should connect my bases with it first. Get these Zerglings in a control group. Because I don't have anything other than Zerglings, and they've got roaches, which means they've got a stronger attack force in the field, I'm kind of trying to stay close to base with my army because we've got these to even the fight if the roaches do arrive. Oh, looks like they just got here. So we're going to pull back. We're going to pull the queen back, too. And just as I said, those spine crawlers helped even the fight. I may actually be able to make a counterattack if I train up a large force of Zerglings right now. My queen... This queen doesn't need to be here. Let's get her back. Actually, we can drop a creep tumor there. Get some creep spreading towards the base. The thing about this map is it's fairly large, so expanding a Zerg and connecting bases with creep is a little bit more difficult than it is on some other maps. Alright, so we've got a fairly large force of Zerglings that we just trained up. Because the AI's first attack failed, because we were prepared for it by scouting ahead of time, note that's a very important concept. If we're able to come and make a counterattack here, we know from being in their base earlier and from scouting earlier that they didn't have a very strong economy. And by preparing for that incoming attack and defending against it with spine crawlers, it puts us in a prime position to make a counterattack. We're actually probably just going to win the game here. So that's a strategy element of StarCraft 2 right there. Seeing what your opponent is doing and then countering it accordingly. Not necessarily with units or anything like that, but with just better strategy.
So more overlords.
Okay, so even while this fight was going on, notice how I took just a second or two to keep building drones, set them on minerals, and spawn more overlords and things like that. But yeah, this game is basically done. The AI is probably going to GG. There it is, GG. GG AI. We will accept their surrender and say victory. Okay, so that's the first game. And yeah, I think the versus AI is going to set you up with a bit of an easier game to start. We'll just go ahead and close out of the score screen during your matches, and then it's going to try and ramp up the difficulty as it figures you to be a better player. Or, you know, it'll try and figure out where you should be and what kind of opponents it should be matching you against. So let's get Game 2 started. Let's see, Orbital Shipyard. You can pay attention to the image of the map during this loading screen because it shows you where the starting points are going to be.
We require more minerals.
Alright, again, we're going to send our Overlord to scout. This time we know exactly where they are. This is a 2-player map, and the minimap will show you the potential spawn points on any given map whenever you start. In this case, there's only one, so we know where they are this time. And knowing that, actually, we can adjust our strategy. Because we know exactly where they are, we can go for a very aggressive early attack and probably take a game down just by being extremely aggressive early on. So again, we waited for 200 minerals exactly and then began building a spawning pool. Now we're going to immediately begin building an extractor. This is something we didn't do previously. This is part of a build order. Previously we waited much longer before we got our extractor. This time we're going to get an extractor early so that we can get Vespene gas sooner, get metabolic boost sooner, and get Zerglings to the enemy base sooner. So if there's a chance that they're not going for a straight-up early attack, then we may have an early game advantage by being really aggressive early on. So we need to get an Overlord coming out here. So this is going to hatch, or this is going to finish up. And I didn't really do a great job in keeping up with my supplies, so this Overlord is going to be late. Which means I can't make a queen right now until this Overlord hatches. Alright, Overlord hatched, I can make a queen. I can actually get some Zerglings out too. And we're already at 60, 70-ish Vespene gas. So we're pretty close to metabolic boost already. Gonna let that finish. And now I'm gonna hit metabolic boost and take the drones off of gas, actually. Well, we want this one to return the gas that's there. Alright, so this actually gives us no more gas coming in. We're gonna want a macro hatch. We're gonna want a second hatchery here so that we can have just that much more larvae. So we've got some drones. Oh, sorry, we've got some Zerglings. We got some drones building right now. These Zerglings don't have their metabolic boost yet, but we're going to send them out onto the map. Get this queen doing her thing. Now, this hatchery is also going to need a queen. This hatchery can birth a second one early. So that's what we'll do.
We require more minerals.
We're going to get this hatchery birthing another queen. So I'm doing something kind of advanced here. Oh, look. Oh, they are going for an early attack. So it's another Zerg opponent. Getting a lot of mirror matchups, really. They sent 4 Zerglings out into the field pretty early. Getting some more Zerglings of my own here. Let's move them in, see what they're doing. They just got a Roach Warren up. They don't have a queen yet, either, so they have to defend with their drones, which means our Zerglings can do a lot of damage. So I'm setting my hatchery to rally at this point, right in their base. Let's get our Zergling out here. Hopefully metabolic boost finishes. No, it's okay. It'll finish fairly soon. So we're going to get these Zerglings set up right there. And now we've got 2 queens. So we can spawn larvae here and here. Going to add this to my control group 5. Set both rally points here. Get more Zerglings pouring out. Whoa, 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 whoa. So they planned their roaches very well. That's a really strong attack that's coming in right now. Zerglings don't do that great against roaches, so I'm going to have to pull back here. And we're going to have to defend in the comfort of our base here. We got another Zergling, pair of Zerglings just running up. Try and keep an eye on where the enemy is. That way we just know. I can get my Overlord away from here. They're going to spawn a queen pretty soon, I'm sure. I'm going to keep spawning Zerglings, though, because we've got a lot. And that's the strength that our build is going for right now. So I'm going to keep spawning Zerglings and try and work in some drones here and there, get an Overlord out. Once I have this next batch of Zerglings that just spawns, we're going to rally them right here. Once this next batch of Zerglings spawns, I should probably be able to take that force that they had now. As long as their force hasn't grown too much larger, this should be fine. So we're going to move out. We've got 2 spine crawlers to defend our base if the enemy happens to slip by us. Zerglings with metabolic boost are fast enough to return while the enemy is fighting these spine crawlers here. Get some more of that going. Get some more Overlords building. Alright, so here is their Roach force. Formerly, our Zergling force wasn't that strong against these. Notice how they've taken out basically almost a whole row of Zerglings right here, which would have been half my force previously, but since I waited a while, we're doing better. Also, we did get a little bit of economic damage done early on by taking out their drones. So let's get some more Zerglings coming out here. Oh, they expanded over here. I see, I see. So that's a thing that happened. Alright, let's go finish off their drones and the rest of their army, take out this queen. And at that point, they're probably just going to GG. We got more Zerglings coming out here. We can get my Zerglings right in the middle of their mineral line, take them out. This is game. We're going to take this one down. So, in this map, there's the GG. GG. Oh, it's a medium AI this time. Okay, so before it was easy, this time it's medium. Because we defeated the easy AI. So in this map, I want to point out the fact that we knew where our opponent was starting because this was a 2-player map, and we adjusted our strategy accordingly. We got earlier Vespene gas, which let us get earlier metabolic boost, and we also built our hatchery, our macro hatchery, right in base very early, and got a lot of larvae coming in so that we can develop a small, quick attack force to be aggressive early on, which actually paid off for us very well. We got some economic damage early in against them. They didn't get a queen quite as fast as they would have liked, I would guess, which allowed us to save an Overlord, I think. A lot of really good things happened there just because we knew where the opponent already was, so we were able to play an aggressive strategy in that case. In an actual multiplayer match, you can actually expect opponents doing such similar things as well, being very aggressive on 2-player maps because there's not a lot of scouting involved, so you may have to take that into consideration and instead build defensively. But in this case, we were able to build aggressively, get away with it, and win a match. Alright, so we got 1 match remaining against the AI. Let's go ahead and hit the play button and get into this placement match, so to speak. So this map has 4 potential starting points. Again, you can pay attention to these things and see that sort of stuff early on. 4 potential spawning like Sparta? Like spawning points. 4 potential spawning points here. Or I guess I was going to say starting points and spawning points at the same time. Or you could just take them out here in the little red markers on the mini-map. Alright. So let's get an Overlord scouting. Just get him moving in that direction. Now we're going to wait for a spawning pool here. Here we go. Gonna get another drone. And then you guessed it, an Overlord. In this one I'm going to go for something a little bit more balanced. I'm probably going to build roaches and hydralisks in the mid-game here. If we get to mid-game. But I'm probably going to go for something a little bit more balanced here. Let's see, let's get an Overlord spawning here. Commentary taking up some of my capability to get my build order working properly. Alright, now it's time to get some Vespene gas ready. Train up another drone to replace the one we just used up. I'm actually going to build up a second extractor here, because we need to do something along those lines. Again, another drone. Let's get a couple of Zerglings once this is ready. We'll get a queen, and then get a couple Zerglings. Once this finishes, we're going to get our 3 drones harvesting from that. Once this finishes, we'll get 3 drones harvesting from that as well. We're going to get a lot of gas to start out here. There we go. So, we're not going to be so mineral heavy in this early game as we have been in previous early games. Alright, so we got our Zerglings out here. Let's get them moving. I'm going to hit attack down here in the lower right, and then I'm going to hold shift and click on 2 Zerglings to deselect them, and send the other 2 that are remaining in the selection off to the lower left here. That way we've got an Overlord scouting over here, and we've got 2 Zerglings scouting here, and 2 Zerglings scouting here, so we can figure out where the opponent is. Alright, so we're going to get our Queen doing that whole number. And now we're going to build a Roach Warren, because I want to get some roaches in this game. That's what the gas is for. The Hydralisks are going to be coming in later on. They're a good complement. Roaches and Hydras together are a good ground force. Let's get some more drones, because we want to make sure that our bases are fully saturated to support this. Alright, so it looks like our Overlord found a Protoss force this time. It's AI hard this time. Let's go ahead and get in there. They don't have any military units just yet. They're not like Terran who can summon up, or who can, they're not like Terran who can train a Marine really quickly, and they're not like Zerg who can spawn a Queen, which attacks air really quickly. Looks like they're chrono boosting their gateways here, or an upgrade, actually. So we get a good view of what's going on. We could probably get some Zerglings in here already. Alright, so our Roach Warren has just finished. We're going to spawn up a pretty good number of Overlords there. Let's get Metabolic Boost going. Need to pick that up.
Our forces are under attack.
It's okay. We're getting our Queen out of the, our Overlord out of the way just in time. Zerglings came in, see that they're building up a couple of Zealots. Get in there. They got a couple of Zealots and a Stalker in there. They're still doing that whole number. Gonna get these Zerglings out of the way. And kind of just leave them right here so they can keep an eye on where the enemy is gonna be moving. In case they decide to move out. We'll know about it. So we need to get some drones building. Hoping they're not going for a very early attack. Gotta finish saturating this mineral patch here. There we go, we got our drones. And now it's probably a good idea to get an expansion building right now. So that's what we're gonna do. Gonna build an expansion. This one's kind of protected by these rocks, sort of. I don't know, this is probably a better location for it. So we're gonna build an expansion there. We're gonna train a Queen from this hatchery. Looks like they're going for an early attack, actually. I might want to cancel this. Bring him back. We're gonna do this. Let's get some roaches out. Of course, we need some more minerals for that.
Metamorphosis complete.
Okay, so our metamorphosis for Zergling's bead is finished. Gonna let our Queen spawn some more larvae here. Gotta get another drone on this mineral patch. One base can support a roach force fairly well. There we go, a second Queen, very useful. Let's spread some creep now with her. Since we're not doing anything else with her at this particular point. She was going to be the Queen for the new hatchery that we just cancelled. We cancelled it because it looked like they were going to go for an aggressive attack, but they may not actually be going through with that. So we've got our military building up here, which is good. That's what we're looking for. Get another Overlord. Get another couple of roaches. Now we need to get some roach upgrades here, but for that we need to start building this lair. You'll notice whenever I hover over these upgrades on the roach lair, or in the roach warren, they both say requirements lair. So we need to get this lair upgrading in the middle of our base, so upgrade our hatchery to a lair, so that we can get those upgrades. Roaches really are more useful when they've got at least this glial reconstruction or reconstitution, which enables them to move a little bit faster off of creep. So that really works well for them. You know what? It's been a while. Let's go ahead and get our Hydralisk den. I should be able to build a Hydralisk den. Oh, yeah, I need a lair for that. Ha! Fancy that. Alright, it looks like they're not actually on the approach to our base, so they're not making that early attack I thought that they were. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with this expansion. They themselves, the AI, is probably expanding and trying to move forward with their economy, so we've got to make sure we beat them in that regard. As a Zerg player, you want to have more bases than your opponent. So I'm going to actually expand out here as well. Even though this expansion is just now building, we're going to expand again. Get our rally points set in this general direction. Looks like we're going to want to move creep this way, so let's move creep this way, right? Get this queen moving over there next. Now we want to make sure our army is ready. So I'm going to keep training army. We've got a lot of Vespine gas coming in, but that's okay. We're going to spend that. We are going to spend that. So we're going to shift 5 that, set that as its rally point, and set this for its military rally point. Alright, so we're spreading creep. There we go. Just like that. So this will connect all of our bases. I'm going to actually train another queen from this hatchery, or this lair now, I guess. And we can get that upgrade for the roaches, and we can also get move speed and attack range for our hydras, which are coming very soon. We've got a good force to defend our base right now. One cool thing about these spine crawlers is that they can uproot by pressing R, or by pressing that button. So you select them, hit that button, and then you can move them where you want them by pressing R again. So they move pretty fast on creep. Off creep they won't move nearly that fast, but they can reposition themselves so that you can change where your defenses are. Alright, so we got another queen out here. She's going to be the one that tends to this hatchery.
Mineral field depleted.
Looks like we got some mineral fields being depleted, so we're going to move them over to this expansion, pick up a couple of extractors, and let's get some drones building.
We require more minerals.
And get quite a number of drones, and we're going to set them out this way. Alright, looks like the enemy is approaching with their attack here. Let's get our queen to support these forces here. Our roaches and the spine crawlers were more than enough to hold off the enemy force, so that's good. We know we were able to sustain that.
We require more minerals.
I'm going to take advantage of this window of opportunity to train up some drones to further saturate our base here.
Metamorphosis complete.
Yes, metamorphosis complete.
Metamorphosis complete.
Good, good. So that's our that metamorphosis is our roaches and hydras getting better. So let's train up some overlords. That way we have enough supply to support the hydras while we keep building up our economies over here. Next thing is next. I want to build some evolution chambers in this match. We're going to put 2 of them down. These are going to enable us to upgrade our ground forces. And I'll be able to get 2 upgrades at a time with 2 evolution chambers up. We've got to keep replenishing these drones.
We require more minerals.
Because we seem to be short on minerals, but heavy on gas at this particular point. You know what? I'm going to pull these off gas for right now. Let that drone do that, just so we can have some more minerals coming in right now. And I want these to finish. I'm going to start building up some hydras.
We require more minerals.
Okay, so we got some hydras coming out. It's going to be 3 hydras right there. Now, queens also have a transfusion ability. Costs 50 of their energy, but it heals Zerg structures and units. So I'll use it to help that spine crawler regenerate. It's regenerating on its own as well. It's going to finish up its hit points. Its hit point bar will disappear because it'll be at full health. Right there. There we go. But the queen was able to help out with that. So we got to keep spawn larva going. We got some hydras that just spawned. And here are our upgrade buildings. We're going to upgrade Zerg missile attacks, or ground missile attacks, and ground carapace. So basically ranged attacks and armor. Fortunately, roaches and hydras both share those upgrades, so we're making our army that much better by doing that. Alright, so we've got some creep tumors here that we can spread. We really should go keep an eye on our opponent. We don't have any flying units to do so. However, we did keep this overlord off in this direction. Oh, there's a cannon, so I can't sneak the overlord in. That's fine. Alright, so let's get some hydras coming into our army here.
We require more minerals.
There we go. And again, let's train up some more drones because we seem to be short on drones still.
We require more minerals.
Our mineral income is still very low. We don't have a good balance on that. And that's just some macro play on my part that needs shoring up. We all have areas where we can improve. Undoubtedly, you have noticed some areas where you can improve, and I have areas of my own as well. Don't think even Grandmaster players have areas where they can improve, so don't think that your progress is slow or that you're bad or anything like that. No, you just have areas where you can improve, that's all. So we're gonna move our army out here. Okay, looks like they're bringing theirs in. We're gonna move up to our spine crawlers here. We're gonna get our queen to transfuse some of these roaches. So with the help of the spine crawlers, hopefully we can take out this attack force. Need some more overlords coming into the fray. Alright, so we were able to take out that attack force. I'm going to take this opportunity to make a counter-attack here. Hopefully moving toward their moving toward their likely expansion location. This is going to be a good opportunity to get some information on what they're actually doing. Looks like there's no expansion here, so there's probably one here. Let's move up. This isn't a very strong force. Ah, they got some flying units. Fortunately, Hydralisks are fantastic against flying units. Gonna build up some more roaches. Lots more roaches. So this is probably game, actually.
Our forces are under attack.
Gonna move our Hydralisks back because they're kind of fragile in that way. We want the roaches to move up first. There we go. Now here's a pretty key concept about things that's going on. Notice how all these units back here are stuck behind the ramp because these roaches are attacking these structures. You really want to use the move command just by simply right-clicking to get all your units inside the base first. That way everybody in your army can attack some things. Alright, so we need to get some reinforcements in here pretty quickly, so I'm actually training up some Zerglings and rallying them over to this location so the Zerglings can come help finish things off. But we are essentially done with this game, training up more Overlords here. But yeah, we are essentially done with this game. This unit composition here involves roaches, which are armored units, as you can see, armored, biological. They have 145 hit points, so they are much more durable than the Hydralisks, which are not armored. They are light, and they only have 80 hit points. So the roaches serve as a good tank-type unit. Tank in like the RPG sense, in that they absorb damage and they stand up front for the DPS class, which is the Hydralisk here. So our Zerglings should just be making it. Yeah, the Zerglings just made it in here. We're actually going to attack this pylon. Power down that pylon so that the cannons can't attack anymore. There we go. So the AI is GGing, saying GG to surrender. I will say yes to that surrender vote. Alright, so we're able to take down the easy, medium, and hard AIs here. Gonna hit up the score screen. And those were our 3 sort of placement matches. In actual ranked games, they're called placement matches. Level 28 Zerg. Pretty cool, pretty cool. In actual AI games, they're called... Oh, sorry, in actual ranked matches, they're called... Alright, let me restart this. In actual ranked play, they are called placement matches to determine what kind of other players you should be matched against as far as skill level is concerned. Same thing goes on here with AI. Placement matches complete. Hard. You have completed your versus AI placement matches. Win matches to face more difficult AI. So, we got placed against hard. So whenever you finish your placement matches, you can see that we've got this bar down here. And you can fill this bar up. Right now, we're at the high end. The more filled up end, I guess, of the bar. We're at the high end of hard difficulty. So there are more difficulties beyond this. If I continue to play, and if I continue to beat hard AI opponents, this bar will fill up. And then we'll eventually move on to harder, very hard, and then eventually elite difficulty. So this is a fantastic place. Once you're done with training, versus AI is a fantastic place. Just come play some Starcraft, work on your game, not feel any pressure playing against human opponents or anything like that. Don't got to worry about your rank. You don't got to worry about facing other players who are doing tricky strategies or something like that. You don't got to worry about anybody's skill level but your own. And that's one thing I love about versus AI, is that you can just come here and just play some Starcraft and just really try and improve your game. So your goal, once you get to versus AI, and this could take a while, your goal once you get to this point is to fill this bar all the way up. I would recommend playing against versus AI several times, or just keep playing and keep winning and losing. If you're new to this game, you're probably gonna lose quite a few of these matches. But yeah, keep playing, keep winning, and then fill this bar all the way until it's completely filled up. And then once you get there, you can safely say to yourself, alright, I think I'm ready for unranked play. And then you can move over to unranked. We're going to go ahead and keep playing some of these. This video has gone on quite long enough, but that's how this portion of it works. We're going to keep playing these in future videos, where we're going to cover more concepts and just talk about StarCraft while we play. We're kind of transitioning out of the newbie area, aren't we? Not complete newbie. Novice is probably a more appropriate word for any of you who have made it this far. Maybe not quite yet. Of course, newbie is still appropriate for those who don't know a lot about the other races, that you just know a bit about your own, stuff like that. So newbie's probably still an appropriate word, but you're graduating slowly toward the novice area, where you've got StarCraft and the basic gameplay down and stuff like that, and you just need to improve your play. So yeah, at this point you're probably beginning to transition into into novice, but maybe not. Everybody's at a different position. Everybody learns at a different pace. Everybody plays different schedules and things like that. So, wherever you're at is perfectly fine. Again, versus AI is a fantastic place to come and just keep playing until you fill up this bar completely. So that would, if I was to give somebody a goal in this learning curve, if that would be at this particular point, is to fill up that bar just by continuing to play versus AI versus AI versus AI. Yeah, changing your race doesn't change the difficulty of the AIs that you face. I was kind of wondering if you switch over to Terran or Protoss, if it would do more placement matches to determine your skill level with those races, but it doesn't. You have to keep playing whatever race you originally started as. Well, you don't have to. You can switch over, but if you're new to either of these two, you're going to be facing hard AI with, or whatever AI you're up against, with what is essentially to you a new race in the game. For a completely new player, that is, who's only been playing one race up to this point. Anyway, I've been getting some comments. I've been reading the comments and feedback on previous Newbie Guide episodes. And yeah, I'm taking it all in. I'm using that to inform my decisions about what kind of content comes out next. So keep leaving that feedback. Keep letting me know what you like about this series, what you'd like to see in this series, and things like that. Just keep leaving that sort of stuff. It's actually really doing a pretty good job of giving me some clue on where, or giving me some idea on where you guys are with the game and what I can do to further the efforts of this newbie guide, or the goals of this newbie guide, which is, of course, to help newbies get into Starcraft 2 multiplayer. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.